Magnum PI. Wow. Obviously, I'm Tom Selleck with the moustache and the Hawaiian shirt. I can't remember the guy from the Go Compare advert being in that TV show. Who are you?
I am your loyal butler, Higgins, although I am discreetly disguised, I think, as Hercule Poirot, to be honest here. This is.
Did he then get a job on the Pringles packet?
Absolutely, yeah, the Pringles man, I could live with that. Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't have the luxury of growing my moustache, so this has been shop bought, stuck on.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm
not channeling. John Hillerman was Higgins, wasn't he? I don't feel like I'm channeling John Hillerman completely at the moment.
Mate, it's an effort.
It's an effort. I've got the right shirt,
Yeah.
got the hat. Was it bird watching he was always into? I can't remember why he had this.
No, Tom Selleck was into bird watching.
That's right. I know somebody had these binoculars, didn't they?
Yeah.
But Magnum, I mean, we're talking all things cars, aren't we, today?
Yeah.
And Magnum PI. Well, I mean, we both grew up watching it.
Yeah, what a great show from the 80s involving cars along with the A-Team, Knight Rider, Dukes of Hazzard, all those car stunts, brilliant. Probably why I wanted to become a professional stuntman was a kid growing up in the 80s watching those shows.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Straightening the curves, flattening the hills. Someday the mountain might get 'em, but the law never will.
It's interesting. Starsky and Hutch I liked as well. That was another one of mine. That was car stunts. The Dukes of Hazzard was probably my favourite one. It was the one where Bo and Luke Duke, they were always just sort of flying around. I'm going to remove my moustache. I'm going to remove my hat. I'm going to put my headphones on now.
Okay.
Now that you've accused me of looking nothing like Higgins.
Yeah.
Let's have a go at this. There we go.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I will hold you responsible. Hold you responsible if I have any moustache burn from that one. So.
Moustache?
Something like that.
Moustache residue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So is this shirt being bought specifically for this episode, or is this just one out of the Pearson wardrobe?
This shirt was bought in Hawaii. I had a vacation there a couple of years ago. Yeah.
So it's genuine.
It is a genuine Hawaiian shirt.
And were you riding around the place in your Ferrari?
Well, he drove...
Saving the world?
He drove a Ferrari 308 GTS. It wasn't his. He never owned that car.
No, it belonged to the house, didn't it?
Yeah, the guy we never saw. The beach house apartment he lived in. He never owned that. He was a bum. Even
good old Higgins was the man who was trying to always keep him under control. I loved the comic time in between the two. The reason, great cars, great stunts, great stories. Yeah. But it was the chemistry between the two of them, wasn't it?
But also as well, so he was a private investigator. He must have done something for the guy that owned all these cars and houses. He must have had something on him. So he had use of the Ferrari, the beach apartment. He was surrounded by beautiful women. Tom Selleck in that show. They were all victims. Not victims of him, but victims of who he was representing.
Yeah.
So he was just a good egg, wasn't he? He was trying to right the wrongs, and it was great viewing. But all those helicopter shots as well as the car chases and the Ferrari, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And it's a good way to get us into this episode 2 of Unstunted, where we can get into costume and talk about all things car related, isn't it?
Car stunts.
So let's talk about some of the things. Episode 1, Unstunted, was very much talking about the whole brand and what we're all about and why we're here. What's coming up on this show then? When we're focusing very much on driving, aren't we? So
episode 2, this is car stunts. So I think car stunts in the movies, television shows, are probably the general public's most favourite stunt. You've got iconic car sequences, you've got jumps, you've got near misses, you've got crashes. But if you look at those 80s TV shows, the A-Team, Knight Rider, it was all about the cars, wasn't it? But just moving on to the second episode of Unstunted. So in the first episode, we talked about the Buster Keaton house falling down. So the second episode, in an ideal world, we want to recreate the man with the golden gun 360 barrel roll.
Bridge is 2 miles back. You're not thinking that.
I sure am, boy. Never heard of Evel Knievel?
I've been to that location. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
We'll talk about that. So Roger Moore and the American dude, he's in the car. They hit the ramp. The car does a the car does a complete 360 and lands back on the wheels on the ramp on the far side. So we're hoping to recreate that.
And the idea is recreate it using the technology you've now got at your fingertips that they're never in the 1974 that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
When computers effectively didn't really even exist, did they? So
no. So the idea behind UnStunted, just going back to it, is we want to try and recreate the classic stunt with modern technology, modern equipment, modern health and safety, and a laugh, and see how we get on. So if we can get to the original locations, great. I don't think we'd be going over to Thailand, but maybe find a river in South Wales, somewhere like that. What an iconic stunt. Yeah, so it's the guys that actually performed it, they hired an American stunt team, and they were performing this actual stunt in a live show touring America. So the guys that came over to do it were doing it every week.
So the producers saw the live show, presumably, and thought, "I know, we'll have that in our film."
Yeah,
so.
And they nailed it in one take. So the first time they did it, that's the one you see in The Man with the Golden Gun, the 1974 film.
With an appalling soundtrack behind it, which makes it sound like it's something out of the Clangers. They do it like one of those whistle things. Yeah. Which is terrible. It's crying out for a classic bit of Bond music, that. And it's...
wasn't there a funny whistle?
Yeah, that's it. Like it sounds like it's off the Clangers.
Something like, it was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Which is a shame, really. And the other story I heard, which I thought was really interesting, is that the director thought that it went too perfectly first time, that it made it look too easy, and asked the driver if he'd do it again.
Really?
Understandably, I think the driver said, "No thanks, mate."
Oh, he didn't do it again?
He didn't. I just did it once. But he was worried it looked so perfect.
Well, I mean, okay, playing devil's advocate here, if I was performing that stunt and I was doing it every week, and someone said, "Well, can you do it again?"
Get your checkbook out.
Get your bucks out, yeah. I'll do it all day long.
Yeah.
Pay me £10 a take.
Although I can tell you, as I said, having been to the actual location, which is just outside Bangkok, in 1970s, there was nothing there. It was just in the middle of nowhere. Now it's built up like a bit of a sort of shanty town, really.
Yeah.
And I walked over the little bridge, which is where the camera would have been placed, and just looking down over the bridge, there's like pythons in the water, and goodness, the biggest concern I think wouldn't have been not landing on the ramp. It'd have been being eaten by some pretty ferocious snakes. Here's the picture I took this picture of this python just below my feet, and it was moving around, and some of the people wouldn't even go on the bridge. But I thought, well, I've got travel insurance, so I should be okay.
God, that's a hell of a snake, mate.
It is. So talk about some of the things that we've got coming up then. We've got a special guest, haven't we? We had Sean Ryder last time.
Yes.
And we've got another special guest who we'll be introducing very soon. And talking about some of the films that we've seen, including probably the big summer blockbuster, which is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, which we both went to see.
Yes.
For research purposes.
You're a fan of the franchise.
I'm not so much.
I'm not. No, I'm not really into sci-fi films. I like... what's it called? Post-apocalyptic.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I love those type of movies.
Well, you've been. You've worked on quite a few of them as well, haven't you?
Yeah, 28 weeks later.
Yeah,
I was a zombie. Yeah. Is that post-apocalyptic?
Yeah, it is.
Very early post-apocalyptic.
It's definitely apocalyptic.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. Yeah. The Book of Eli.
Yeah.
All that. The Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love all that kind of.
How'd you get into character to play a zombie then?
Well, okay, so funny story. So I got called to be a zombie on 28 weeks later. So I got down to the unit base. There was a trailer there were two stunt guys that day, me and a chap called Steve Caswell. And so we were in the trailer chatting away, and there was a knock on the door. I opened the door, and there was a guy there. He says, "Hello, I'm so-and-so. I'm your zombie coach."
Who knew that was a thing?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But Steve Caswell, he said, no, he says, I've got it sorted. Ooh. And this guy went, no, it's not the slow moving zombie. It's a bit faster. You kind of rabied.
Oh, okay.
And Steve would go, no.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like great start to the day that was.
Exactly.
And then sort of like, so we had to nail it. We had this zombie coach. He was telling us these real kind of, if you think about World War Z, how fast those zombies are, the 28 days, weeks, years later franchise, they are very fast moving.
Yeah.
And so we had the training, and then they took us out to the location, and it was they put us in a field, in the middle of the field, and I'm stood there with Steve, and I was like, what's going on? We could barely see the camera at the bottom of the hill. So we had a radio hidden in the grass, and then on a cue, we had to run down this hill, zombified. Yeah. Maybe I didn't take that out.
And then usually come to a fairly sticky end, don't they?
Yeah.
So you presumably have to. Would you have to sort of fall over a bridge or something, or
get shot by a sniper? So
Okay.
we're running down this hill, hit a mark, get shot. So the stunt coordinator was a guy called Julian Spencer, decent guy, and it was all good fun. Yeah.
So post-apocalyptic, more your sort of thing than sci-fi and Tom Cruise hanging off the back of a helicopter.
Yeah.
But driving stunts, which is what we're really talking about, car stunts here.
Yeah.
You've experienced them then as a performer and as a coordinator, haven't you? Can you remember the first driving stunt you did?
Yeah. So I'm kind of known for more driving the bigger vehicles, trucks, ambulances, that type of thing. The odd tank,
You can do some damage in them.
Yeah. So I've probably crashed about 60 vehicles in 25 years as a professional stuntman. A lot of those crashes were on a UK Sky TV series called Curfew. Mark Mottram was the stunt coordinator.
So that was like a sort of wacky races, was the thing where everybody was racing to get from one place to the next in all sorts of different
Was that post-apocalyptic?
vehicles. It was really dark. Was
so I crashed a few vehicles. I think probably the biggest stunt vehicle crash I did on that day, on that show, was there was a tow truck towing a Mini. So I'm hurtling down, it was a night shoot, so I'm hurtling down this lane. A zombie runs out, back to the zombies again, and it might have been a local from Warrington, because that's where he was shooting.
A local zombie, yeah.
So I swerve this, thinking it's a person,
Yeah.
and then it takes me left, sharp left, where we dug a big metal ramp into the side of this kind of man-made lake, stroke pond, body of water. It turned the lorry up onto its side and into the water.
So you're actually in the water in the truck then?
Yes. So, but as you can imagine, we had one take, because you're not going to get a crane out, reset the truck that's been in water and go again. So we had lots of conversations about the physics. Is the car on the back going to stop it from turning? Is it going to land where all the cameras are? So luckily it went really well.
So you've got to make sure in an instance like that then you're hitting the ramp at exactly the right speed as well, haven't you? So
yeah, not much pressure, but lots.
And not get trapped in the cab and the water.
Yeah,
So did you have like a breathing kit on or something?
Yeah, so we put a little roll cage in the cab to reinforce the inside of the cab there, and obviously I had the usual safety features, neck brace, crash helmet. But I also had, a little pony cylinder, like a breathing apparatus, strapped to the back. So as soon as I hit the ramp and the truck went, the lid of the visor of the lid comes up. Take the mouth guard out or whatever, but then put the regulator in.
Right.
So I did that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
We had a mannequin in the passenger seat,
Yeah.
which for the story was obviously another actor. That mannequin was underwater before I could even look left.
Right.
So that's, but it was good. So I put the regulator in, I started breathing on that. The guys came in and then opened the door.
Pull you out.
That was good, yeah. Here's a picture.
And how much prep goes into a stunt like that? I mean, would you spend, on screen, it's seconds, isn't it? Yeah.
Do you know what? Lots of planning, but it's a case of just your vehicle's working, that's the route, that's the angle, that's the speed, just do your job.
Yeah, you make it sound easy.
Point and click. It's like going to Asda, with your shopping trolley.
Listen, I can't even work the self-checkouts, so yeah, I've got
Can't
no
even
chance.
work your moustache,
I can't. No, my moustache. I'm not suited for that. This could scar me for life. This could. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, what about other? Are there other driving stunts? Because you said you've 60 odd stunts you've had. Are there a few that stand out more than others?
Look, as a very young stuntman, I worked on the original. It might not even be the original. Jack Ryan, the one with Chris Pine.
Oh, it was the remake, that wasn't it?
Oh, was it a remake?
Yeah,
was it? Yeah.
Alec Baldwin was the original.
So I was called in. I was quite a young stunt guy, really impressionable, and there's a really iconic stunt coordinator called Vic Armstrong in the UK.
Talking of Bond, as we have been, I mean, he's worked on loads of Bond films, hasn't he?
So he was directing the second unit. So I was really stoked about that. I get to meet him, work under him. Yeah. So my job was, I had to drive. I was an FBI agent. I had to drive my cop car up this hill, stop on a mark, open the door, jump out, and point my handgun at the building. Another cop came from the top. He was on a bank, and a van of SWAT stunt guys would go straight into the middle. Yeah. So we all had our marks, rehearsed it and stuff. Went for it. One take, I didn't put it, and when I stopped, instead of whacking it into park, I put it in neutral. It was on a bank, wasn't it? So I've jumped out the car, got my handgun on the door, pointing the gun at the house, and the bloody car starts
rolling.
Back, and I'm going, oh!
What are you doing? Like trying to force against the door to keep it there?
I'm shaking. You know what I mean? Trying to. Yeah. These old American left-handed drive vehicles are heavy.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying. Did you get away with it?
No. So Vic Armstrong comes over. You missed your mark by about 2 foot, which is how far the car had rolled back. So I was absolutely gutted. I was mortified. Yeah. And then sort of like another experienced guy came over and said, like, stick it in park next time. I said, yeah.
Thanks, mate. Could have told me that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But, you were obviously forgiven, though, because you went on to... I mean, I guess one of the latest driving things you did was on the most recent Batman movie, wasn't it? So that's one of these where there's loads of different vehicles that have all got to work together then. That brings different challenges, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've worked on 3 Fast and Furious films as well.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so quite a bit driving. A lot of the stunt department... if they're not driving the hero vehicles, if it's the Batmobile or the Penguin car, they're driving sort of like normal nondescript traffic cars, but they're all equally as important in the actual design and the implementation of the sequence.
And are you all on radios while you're actually filming it, or is all that prep done before the cameras roll?
It's all radio. Yeah, you need to be on radio. So the brown car at the back, second from the right, move forward. Yeah. So unless you like doing hand signals, it's all on the comms, but can't really give too much away. But,
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about the unstunted barrel roll from the Bond film, given that it's over 50 years ago, how much difference will there be, do you think, when you actually come to, how much, will it be easier, or would you be able to do more with it now when you try and recreate it?
I think the same physics apply. You got to hit a certain mark at a certain speed and let gravity do its work.
Yeah, you fancy doing it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. One take.
I'll fight Ben Collins for it.
Excellent. I mean, I guess because Ben went from he went into the movies after Top Gear, didn't he? Which came first? Was it? Because he's worked on Bond films as well, hasn't he?
Yeah. So Ben will tell you his life as Stig. But since then, so he's become a world-renowned stunt driver. I've worked with him on a few jobs. We did a Kevin Costner movie called Criminal, where I stunt double Kevin Costner driving this ambulance.
Another big car,
The big vehicle, big old chase scene, So and Ben was part of that. I know he's doubled Daniel Craig in the Bond films, a lot of the driving there. So he's he's good, All the car stunts, you got reverse 180s, J-turns, drifting, donuts. Not so much jumps, but all that precision work in a vehicle, he's your top guy,
Yeah. How do you learn to do that without writing off a whole load of cars in your own time to make yourself good at it?
Right to Jim will fix it.
You don't really want to do that.
No, sorry.
I mean, is it because you can go as I know you have to learn all sorts of different disciplines to get yourself onto the British Stunt Register, don't you? So you have to be able to drive and jump and heights and horses and all that. But how do you learn the car
practice.
bit?
Yeah, practice.
But with your cars on a private road,
cars have to be prepped for stunt work. Yeah, they have to be rear wheel drive. You can get a hydraulic handbrake in there. Put some slicks on the tyres. So you need to modify your vehicle to do what you want to do with it.
And now that you are stunt coordinating, as well, does it help that you've actually been there, done that, and you know what you're asking other people to do then?
Yes, to a certain extent. Bearing in mind, my background was horses, not vehicles. So I've had to learn about cars and trucks and stunts in a vehicle in my 25 years as a professional.
But moving, I guess some of the issues are the same, aren't you? You've got lots of moving parts with car stunts, the same as you have with horse stunts. Is it possible to say one's more dangerous than another, or are they just
horses
different?
every day of the week because you're dealing with another brain.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the Tom Cruise film?
Why not? I tell you what. Hang on a sec. My agent's ringing me. Let me just put that down. I tell you what.
This can't all be true.
Every word.
CIA Black Vault break-in.
Am I reading this correctly? The Kremlin bombing?
In fairness, the bomb was actually meant to kill him.
He gassed a security briefing.
That was just 2 months ago.
This explains the handcuffs. It's still not clear why he's here.
If we want to bring the world back from the brink, we have to deal with him.
Should he choose to accept?
Smart people on every side are close to panicking.
What exactly is your plan? Your team has been betrayed, Ethan. All your secrets compromised.
Everything you are, everything you've done, has come to this.
You gave him an aircraft carrier?
Our lives are the sum of our choices. This was your calling, your destiny. I have no regrets. Neither should you.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
Yeah, let's talk about Tom Cruise. Now, Mission Impossible,
Yeah.
The Final Reckoning is the big blockbuster of the summer. And we both went to see it from a different perspective, I guess, because I love the Mission Impossible, most of the Mission Impossible movies. I think they've sort of taken the place of the Bond films for me in recent years in terms of the escapism side of it. You came at this one totally...
Well, yeah, I'll take your word for it, because I've never seen a single Mission Impossible film until this last one.
And is that because of, Tom Cruise isn't your cup of tea, or the idea of them isn't?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sci-fi films. I like post-apocalyptic, but sci-fi films, the TV series, it was a TV series, wasn't it?
It was,
was
in the 60s, 60s and 70s, yeah.
No, it was not my cup of tea. Don't get me wrong, Tom Cruise, he's one of a dying breed, mate, in terms of an all-action actor. Yeah, there's not many of him left,
No.
You got Liam Neeson doing a bit, but doing what he's actually doing, jumping off buildings, climbing up helicopters, all that.
Speaking as a member of the stunt fraternity,
Yeah.
do you like the fact that you get an actor who wants to do their own stuff, or do you look at it and say, hang on a minute, you're doing us out of a job here?
I do, actually. As long as that actor takes a bit of guidance from you as the stunt coordinator.
Yeah.
You know, so you're helping them achieve what everybody wants in terms of the shot, the sequence. Yeah. So as long as there's a bit of two-way help, a bit of interaction, right? I think you should do it like this, do it like that, because you know, you're talking to a stunt professional.
You're the expert in that side of it. I mean, without naming names, I mean, name them if you want to, but without naming names, have you had instances where some people have been a bit difficult to work with, actors from that point of view?
I know where you're going with this one.
I'm saying nothing.
Yes,
no,
yes.
I'll let you go as far as you want to go.
With this one, yeah. Possibly an actor with no hair, but yeah, we'll move on. We'll move on.
Do you know straight away when you're dealing with an actor like that? Oh, okay, this is going to be easy to deal with, or this one could be a bit tricky.
Do you know what? I've done a fight scene with Tom Hardy. I've done a sword fight with Johnny Depp. Great guys, yeah, and they're professional. They treat you as a professional, because we are professionals. Stunt performers are professionals. Great, absolutely great, and it's the kind of the lesser known actors. Maybe they've got a chip on their shoulder because they're lesser known. I don't know, but they can be a bit more difficult. So I've got a little funny story. I'm not naming who the stunt double was, but
they might be able to work it out, but go on.
Possibly, yeah. So I was told this story that a stunt guy who can ride a horse very well, turned up on a job, and the actor turned up. So this guy was already on set. The actor he was doubling turned up on set, and looked at this stunt double, had a complete paddy. Who's this guy? This guy looks nothing like me. Whose decision was this? Let me speak to the producers. Really went off into one that this guy wasn't a good fit to double him. To the point where this stunt guy turned around and said, "I'm only here because you can't ride a fucking horse."
End of story, I think, from that point of view, which is true. But the camera can do amazing things. I mean, you can double somebody that's a foot taller than you, can't you?
Yeah, especially sat down. So on a motorbike, on a horse, you can adjust. You know, you can adjust the stirrups, the pegs. Yeah.
Have you doubled? Ever been called into double for people and think, oh, hang on a minute, why do they want? Am I a natural fit with this then? Or because I say doubling Kevin Costner from your point of view, I'd see that being a natural one from your point of view.
Look, it happens all the time. It's the good thing about being a stunt coordinator now with the British Stunt Register, the BSR, is there's now 500 professional performers, and there's an app, so you can get the measurements bang on, really. Yeah. Not like if you watch some of the original James Bond films with the guys he's fighting, or doubling. Bad wigs, acrylic wigs.
I mean, sometimes you'd have male.
Then.
Exactly, even, but sometimes you'd have male stunt performers performing stunts for women because there weren't enough female stunt performers back in those days.
Yeah,
that's changed as well, hasn't it? A lot.
It's called, the old that's process of wigging.
Yeah,
where that's a different story for a different podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mission Impossible.
Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Some marks out of 10 for the latest Mission Impossible from your point of view.
Right.
Coming at it, with it being your first ever Mission Impossible.
Right. So I went to watch it purely because of this podcast. Yeah. And look, the stunt coordinator is Wade Eastwood, decent guy. I've met him a couple of times, and a lot of my stunt friends worked on the film. It's great that the Mission Impossible films are shot over here because it gets everybody working. As I said in the original podcast, we need to get the stunt people working all the time. Yeah. So that's good. Tom Cruise, I've already said. Edge of Tomorrow, where he keeps reliving the same day. The second Top Gun film, Maverick, and I think he was a hitman in Collateral.
That's right, he was.
I could watch those back to back.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
This film, just not my cup of tea. I probably would have left if it hadn't been for the review and I heard he was going to be climbing up an aeroplane.
Yeah, and I was going to say, spoiler alert, we don't want to give too much away about what happens at the end, but there is it's been trailed as well, the huge scene where there's two biplanes and he's clambering all over it. I mean, you must look at that and think, fair play to the guy. It's quite obvious that he's doing his own stunts.
Yeah, and I've seen some behind the scenes footage which is readily available on all the social media. What I found really ridiculous was, so you've got an old broken down submarine sat on the seabed of the Arctic Ocean. He's gone down there in the full diving apparatus. He's left that scene in a pair of pants.
Swimming back up to the surface.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he survived.
Yeah.
So in his pants, and he's in his pants in a scene earlier in the film, having a fight scene on a different submarine. So costume department had some easy days.
Absolutely. See, that's what comes to being the producer. You can write it into your contract and say, right, contractually obliged to say, I've got to ride a motorbike or drive a car or hang off a plane, and I've got to spend at least 20 minutes with my shirt off. That seems to be part of the...
Yes, yeah. And look, he's in good nick, isn't he? 61. He's a better nick than me.
62.
Yeah.
I mean, fair play to Mission Impossible have been going for 30 years.
Yeah.
I like most of the Mission Impossible films. I didn't much like this one, I've got to be honest.
Really?
I felt like this was a bit self-congratulatory, it was a bit ponderous, it was a bit slow. There seemed to be loads of time people sitting in rooms talking about what they were going to be doing or why they'd just done what they'd done, rather than just getting on and doing it. It didn't hang together. I felt like it was a greatest hits swan song for them, really. And
well, that was the problem for me, sitting and watching my first ever and last ever, because there was such...
you wouldn't have known what half of it was relating back to.
All these people like old clips and that. It's like I've never seen it.
But the idea of sort of older actors getting involved in still doing their own action. We got Brad Pitt doing the F1 movie this summer as well, isn't it?
Yes.
That's another one where it's age is no barrier.
Yeah. So I think Brad is the same age as Tom Cruise, 61, something like that. It's a shame that. It would have been good to review that film.
We'd seen both of them. Yeah, it hasn't come out yet at time of recording it, has it?
Yeah,
but,
car stunts.
Yeah, exactly. Well, any other films with car stunts that really jump out at you that you think, I love that?
What was that French actor, Jean Reno?
Jean Reno. I know what you're going to say.
Leon.
There's Ronin is the one.
Ronin
Is the film. It's got an amazing car chase in that. I think it's one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, is that with Robert De Niro?
There's Robert De Niro's, Gene Hackman's in it. Yeah, it's terrific film that.
Yeah.
Sean Bean, Michael Lonsdale. There's that and The French Connection are two of the very similar kind of car chases where.
Yeah.
What's it like when you're trying to choreograph something like that in the middle of a town or a city or
So just going back to the Kevin Costner film Criminal, we did a car chase. I was driving a Russian truck around inner London. When I say inner London, from the embankment up to Trafalgar Square. So I was driving a Russian truck, being tailed by two MI5 cars, but we decided to shoot it. Well, I didn't decide to shoot it. The grown-ups decided to shoot it in live traffic on a Saturday. So it was a car chase, stealing shots they call it, when it's not locked off.
Right.
You haven't booked that area.
So members of the public could wander into the set.
Possibly, but it was the slowest car chase you could ever imagine. It was 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
They'd hired a helicopter to get the top shots, looking down on this car chase. The stunt coordinator, Tom Struthers, is like shouting down the radio, "Go, go, go!" You can't go anywhere.
No.
So we binned that off. Then we decided to move shots from south of the river. So I started south of Lambeth Bridge. I had to go over Lambeth Bridge, along the embankment, back down Vauxhall Bridge to the MI5 building, and back to where we started.
Like a big full circle.
Where there was cameras on sticks. The crew were there shooting it.
Yeah.
But obviously they hadn't got permission to do this. So I've set off on my route. I've got a little assistant director in the footwell on radio. And so I'm driving and I'm telling him whereabouts we are. So we've gone over Lambeth Bridge. We've gone embankment, past the MI5 building. We're heading up to back to the cameras, the money shot. But as I get there, the AD's going, "Can you see the crew yet? Can you see the crew yet?" I said, "I can see the crew, but they've all got their hands in the air." The police had turned up, had guns on them, because they were pointing their cameras at
the MI5 building or the Parliament building.
Parliament building, yeah, Big Ben, and they were like that. So I just carry on driving past.
I keep driving, pretending nothing to do with it.
This, but they've all been arrested, or because they had, so again, stealing shots.
Yeah,
what you might achieve in terms of financial.
Yeah, but also you want to make it look as natural as you possibly can, anyway, don't you? So you do want, I guess, the rest of the city going by, minding its own business a little bit, because otherwise it looks But that's quite interesting. I guess the big budget movies can afford, and they've got the might to actually talk to the city hall and get them to close a part of the town, haven't they? So,
yes.
I mean, because they filmed Batman up in, was it Glasgow or Edinburgh that they filmed part of the last Batman film?
The Batman, yeah. I was involved with the Penguin and the Batmobile chase sequence, with Steve Griffin, but we did all that at Dunsfold track.
Okay, so that's controlled.
Yeah. So it was 4 weeks of nights straight off the back of the COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
It was great to be working again, but it's not like you had a free COVID test before you even went to your car.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, and they were pulling people out, and yeah.
And is there any vehicles you haven't driven yet that you'd like to have a go at? Have you done a tank?
So I'm going to ask your knowledge now. What was the car that was used in the 360 barrel roll? The man with the
golden gun. It was an AMC Hornet.
Yeah, you've got that
written down.
It was
an AMC
somewhere.
Hornet. I know my Bond stuff. Yeah, Jake Milligan was the guy who used to do this touring stunt show, and I know the agreement was.
You got Wikipedia going.
Look at that. Nothing here. Nothing to see.
Yeah.
So Jake Milligan was approached by the producers, and he said, "Yes, I'll do it." But he'd got this sponsorship deal with AMC, and he said, "I'll only do it if you'll use the car that I sponsor." So it's not the typical kind of car that Bond would drive, is it, at AMC Hornet? So they had to choreograph this scene where there's a chase, and he steals a car from a car showroom that leads to
that the
chase.
story?
That's the story. He's on foot chasing the baddie.
Yeah.
He hasn't got a car. He goes into a car showroom where somebody's about to have a test drive, and he basically nicks the car off them, crashes through the window, and then starts chasing it. And that's how they worked it.
Yeah.
That it was an AMC showroom, but it's because it's. And then I guess they have to adapt it, don't they, to put the steering wheel right in the middle of the car so that the balance is the same.
I've driven a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a Cobra, and what was the other one? Aston Martin.
Nice.
On a British TV series, yeah. So, but to answer your question, what would I like to drive that I haven't? It would be an AMC Hornet.
Doing a 360 barrel
Doing
roll.
a 360, yeah.
Over a bit of water.
Yeah.
Recreating one of the most famous stunts
that
you've ever seen in cinema, but without the clanger's whistle behind it.
Yeah, exactly. But one quick thing there is they modified the driving position, so the steering wheel was in the middle of the car.
Yeah.
So there was equal weight either side.
Yeah. Excellent stuff. Watch this space, I guess, is what we say to that. Time for us to introduce our special guest, do you reckon?
One of the best stunt drivers in the business.
Let's have a look. So, George Harris, welcome to Unstunted. We've been talking about all things cars and moving motors in this edition. So you're the perfect man, aren't you, for this? I mean, just give us a flavour of some of the movies that you've been involved in from a driving point of view.
Okay, well, now you're going to test my memory because my memory is shot to pieces.
Won't hold it against you if you miss some out. It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, there's all the major, I say all of them, but there's a lot of major blockbusters. They all generally have driving sequences in. And so over the last sort of decade, really, I've been lucky to be part of most of them, I'd say. Things like Spider-Man and all the way recently to the F1 movie. So I've done all those things, crashing to kind of nondescript, just background traffic scene driving, and crashes. So.
And to get onto the British Stunt Register, you obviously can't just specialise in one kind of stunt, can you? But is driving your main speciality then, is it?
I would say it kind of all stemmed from growing up in fields, really. As a kid, I'd kind of be tearing around on motorcycles and then scrap cars and things like that. So it's kind of like that's my happy spot. I'm totally relaxed with all things vehicle related. So that is kind of where I end up working most of the time. But no, you're quite right. Like you can't just be, good at just one thing to get on the stunt register. There's 6 different disciplines, as most people find out when they start looking into these things. So yeah.
So when did you start thinking being a professional stunt performer is what I want to do?
Well, in short, there is a bit of a story there, but in short, so I started freestyle motocross as a young guy. And that was kind of my dreams and aspirations to perform doing that. And then I had a crash, as we all do, doing that sort of stuff. And a peer of mine literally sat me down, someone like a Monster Energy professional athlete. He sat me down and he said, "Look, mate, you're not good enough basically to make this into a full-time living. You know, you know, it was just a harsh reality check, but it was true. And he said, look, just focus on what you really want to do. You know, you're good. You've got a taste for all this stuff, but you know, you're good at a bit of everything rather than just one thing. And that was when I kind of actually just took a step back and thought, well, you know, I love film, you know, we all do, and I can see myself doing stunts because it's a little bit of everything, and it's a good laugh, and you know, having a laugh in life is probably the most profitable thing you can achieve, really. So yeah.
So what was your first movie project then? Can you remember the first time you were on set?
I mean, the absolute first time I was on set as an extra was for Law and Order, and they said, right. And I remember walking in, going, "Oh, this is amazing," you know, and sat down on like a bench in a courtroom, and the director or the first AD said, "Right, you know, here's the camera. Whatever you do, don't look down the lens." And they said 3, 2, 1, action, and I just went and just looked straight down the lens, and they were cut, you know, like, and then it was
it's
all
just a natural thing to do, isn't it? So it's just what you do.
It is, yeah. You just looking, but that was as an extra. My first stunt role was working for a stunt coordinator called Eunice, and that was on Fantastic Beasts. So yeah, that was probably about, I'd say about 8 or 9 years ago now, and that was driving in like a proper old school vehicle, like a 50s vehicle. So
I bet you've had a chance to drive some incredible motors over the last few years. Before we talk about the F1 movie, let's just have a little taste of it. Look at this trailer.
Some people look at Sonny Hayes. They see a guy who lives in a van, a gambling junkie who missed his shot, the best that never was. But I see possibility.
And if you don't love me now, we'll never.
My Rook is a phenomenal talent, but he's young.
So go on then, tell me what you did on F1.
F1, right, in a nutshell, it was kind of like winning the lottery, is how I would say. I got the call to basically they needed someone to kind of go to learn how to drive single-seater Formula cars. You know, essentially, I was a bit of a test dummy for the production to put Brad Pitt in that position, because obviously going from driving your average road going car, or even just a general race car, but going to a single seater at those sorts of speeds with all the corners and everything coming at you way faster is not something you can just simply step in and do, especially when you're responsible for a car that's worth 3-4 million pounds, and your life, of course. So essentially, I rocked up for about 3 months to start with, every single day, having like a full team of professionals around me, with some amazing race drivers as well, who I know really well, and yeah, they kind of taught me the ropes, and I just had the time of my life.
So were you doubling for some of the main stars in it then, with some of the stuff you were doing?
Well, I did some crashes. One of them was doubling Brad, and I can't remember which way they've edited it in the end, but I was doubling Brad at some point, and I was doubling Damson at some point, you know. So really, it was, to be honest, in that sort of environment, it's not doubling the actor, because you know, you're not seeing the physiology, you know, my body or shape or whatever. It's more about the performance of the vehicle.
Yeah.
So, and they weren't sure what they were going to do with them. So they just wanted to see a vehicle crashing into a barrier. So we got that shot, and they wanted to see a vehicle spinning off at various corners. So we did all those various things, you know. And then there were several other racing drivers who were getting all the precision shots up and down the streets, around the corners and everything. So as a huge collective, a team, you know, I played that small role there, really. Yeah.
But I bet it was amazing to actually be working with professionals from the F1 industry, and because they shot a lot of it in actual racetracks, you know, with proper crowds and everything, didn't they?
Yeah, I had to like kind of, you know, I was a bit starstruck, really. I don't get too starstruck on normal films, you know, Spider-Man's or whatever. I just, you know, but when I was there at the racetrack with all the F1 stars, and just Max Verstappen's just casually walking past, or Lewis Hamilton actually came over to me and asked me what the weight and balance was like on the car with all the camera equipment on it, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, mate, it's fine." You know, that was quite surreal. So yeah, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I even had a F1. I had a pass. We all had them. We had a pass, a proper FIA approved F1 pass with F1 driver on it. So I've definitely kept that as a keepsake, because that's never going to happen again. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. I'm right in assuming maybe that this is probably one of the most satisfying jobs you've done in the stunt industry so far. Then is it F1?
100%, definitely. That it's kind of like my career's peaked, and for it to get any better is going to take some doing. Honestly, it really was a childhood dream come true. I am so grateful for, Adam Curley, who was a stunt coordinator at the time. He got me in, and there was two lead drivers, Luciano Bacchetta and Craig Dolby, who I know really well. They also stunt drivers, and they got me involved. So I'm always grateful for those guys.
Yeah. We've been talking on this episode about how driving stunts, driving action has always been some of the things that audiences relate to the most, look forward to the most. What is it about driving stunts that people love so much?
It's the fast paced action generally, the jeopardy, like you're moving at speed, so there's like an energy that's building up, which could end up in serious injury or some sort of, well, yeah, like obviously a crash or close precision kind of moments, which bring a lot of energy to the scene, basically. So I think it's just something that we all relate to it. As most people in the world drive around about, it's something we all do it ourselves. So to see other people crashing or coming close to near death experiences, I think yeah, it's very relatable for most people.
Because you've done, is it fast? We've done one of the Fast and Furious films, haven't you? You did the Batman movie. Did you drive the Batmobile or the Penguin Mobile or something?
I wish I could say I have done those films, but I wish I haven't driven. I've been in the Batmobile, and I've got the Batmobile tire in my garden actually, which I don't know. I just one day I was on there and they said I could have it, so I've got it. But no, that was Rick English for
you
my
just need
time.
the other three.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, then I can just start making the car. No, on the Batman, I was in a big Arctic lorry. There was like a big sequence on a motorway. We were actually at Dunsfold, and I was in an Arctic lorry where the whole cab, like the trailer, was on a tilting mechanism, and I was in the back of it. We had Pete White, who's a stunt coordinator. He was in the cab of that vehicle driving it. There's loads of other people. I'm talking like 30 other stunties, all in different vehicles, and there's fire and there's explosions and the bat cars coming through, and I'm there with a button, and my Arctic lorry kind of tips over as if it's crashing, like kind of jackknifing, is simulating it's going to crash onto the back car, and he ducks out of the way, and it's a big part of the film actually.
It's a massive, that's a massive sequence, isn't it? And the choreography behind that, because there's so many moving parts and so many people involved in it, you've got to be split second, haven't you, on something like that?
Yeah, these things take weeks. They truly take weeks, and without having the kind of the experience from those above us and those people that have come through the system before me, it would be it just wouldn't be possible. Experienced guys are placing little LEDs in the right spots, and they're teaching everybody about body language of vehicles, so we don't have to be communicating vocally all the time. We can just read each other's cars, so you get to know what somebody's going to do before they've even done it. It's kind of like being on a roundabout and someone's not indicating, but you can just tell they're going to come off. When you're using the roads all the time, there's like a certain body language that you learn, and we have that in the stunt driving world. So,
are you how different a stunt driver are you now then compared to what you were like when you first came into the business?
More aware of situations. Rather than just being initially focused on exactly what I was doing and that's it. It's more that I've got a bit more spare capacity, let's just say. At the start, it was very like, okay, like this is my job, I've got to do it, I can't think about anything else. And now it's more like, okay, this is my job, I'm going to do it. But as I'm doing it, what are they doing? How are they changing? Am I still safe? Can I push it any further? What's acceptable, what isn't? And you're doing all these things naturally, like super quick. So, the more you do anything, the more spare capacity you have. And actually that relates to the F1 movie because again, I experienced driving those cars, and it took all of my brain power to just get around the track fast and safely. But the more and more I did it, and towards the end of that project, I found myself kind of just taking it in and enjoying it more, and then talking to everybody on the live radio. And so definitely I've got more spare capacity, I'd say.
Yeah. We've been talking on this show about classic driving stunts that would be great to recreate or reproduce. One of the ones we were talking about, do you remember the big spiral jump in the Bond movie, The Man with the Golden Gun, where it goes over, does a 360 on that? Would you fancy having a go at that?
Absolutely. I'm. There was. Yeah. I was about to say something that I probably can't say actually, but yeah. But let's just put it this way: I'm always working on something. Trying to like push the limits, or basically reaching out to different companies, trying to set. I'm trying to do a world record basically. But it's going to be difficult to achieve it. So,
I thought you were about to give us an unstunted world exclusive then.
No, not yet. Next time we can do a whole feat, see if it works.
Excellent. Come back and tell us all about it. This is George. It's been great to catch up with you. Thank you so much for being a guest on the show, and I look forward to seeing where you pop up next.
I appreciate having me. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. So that's pretty much it then for episode 2 of Unstunted, talking all things cars.
Yes.
And if you haven't checked out episode 1, where we talk about the Buster Keaton house fort, you can check that out. You can binge the box set now, can't you? What's coming up next? What are we going to look at next?
So, episode 3, on the theme of Unstunted, the TV series, there's going to be 6 episodes. So there's going to be 6 classic stunts recreated from history with the modern angle. And what we're hoping is one of the most iconic fire stunts in modern cinema history was the beach landings in Saving Private
Ryan,
where Tom Hanks, he's a little bit shell-shocked. He's on the beach, he looks across, there's a landing craft, and all the soldiers are running out on fire. There were 12 guys on fire for that shot. So we're going to be talking about that, talking about fire stunts. Of course, we're going to have a guest
who knows a thing or two about fire stunts, and as do you. You've done quite a few of those, and we'll talk about those.
Sure.
I'd be much happier crashing cars than I would set myself on fire. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Not that I'm an expert at either.
And we're going to review one of the latest.
Absolutely, we are.
Films, yeah.
So from Higgins, and Magnum. Yeah, I've lost my moustache now. Here we go. Yeah. It's stuck to my hat. That's about it, isn't it?
Yes.
We'll go and do something honest for a living, shall we now?
Yeah, I'm going to go and investigate a bar.
Excellent. I'm going to go and buy a Ferrari. See you later.
Thank you.